First of all, what was it like, your vantage point last night, and including seeing some of your rotation counterparts get in the game in relief?
Yeah, it was a hell of a game. I mean, I this is my first time seeing a game from that perspective. Being in the bullpen, and no, it was a lot of fun. The crowd was fired up the whole time, and yeah, it was cool seeing Logan come in with the flames on, and he looked like he'd been there before. He was walked out all slow like he's done it before, and yeah, and then seeing Louis come in, and I mean seeing everybody, top to bottom, just absolutely grind and put up zeros, one after the other was really cool and fun to watch.
What does it mean to you to be named Game 1 starter for the ALCS?
Yeah, it's super cool. I'm fired up, and yeah, I'm ready to go. It's pitching in the playoffs is something you dream of, and just getting the opportunity to start us off and get us going early and set the tone is super meaningful, and yeah, I'm ready to go.
And you fought through some adversity early in the season. You're on the injured list. Does all the things you've been through this year make it mean more?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the beginning of this year definitely, like personally, didn't go as I had planned, and but yeah, we're in the postseason. We won the DS, and now we're 4 wins away from the World Series, and yeah, my last outing I felt really good. I think that was the best my stuff has been in a while, and so yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to the opportunity.
So you faced the Blue Jays once this year, but it was in early May. Is there anything to take away from that matchup, or at this point, 5 months later, is it just kind of throw it out and new game plan?
No, I mean that was the last start before I went on the IL, and I mean I I think I faced them twice. One time in 23, and then that one, and both of them, they're not much to look at. I think I'm a different pitcher than I was. That last start, and especially it's different than I was in 23. So, and I'm sure they're a different team as well. They've been swinging it really well. They swung it really well against the Yankees, and they got a good team. So we definitely got some work ahead for us, and but yeah, it'll be fun.
What's the biggest challenge on pitching with short rest?
I've never pitched on 4 days, so I don't know yet. But no, it's been a weird week. Just first off, I only threw 55 pitches in my start, so in the moment I was not as happy with that. But now I'm glad I did, because now I'm pitching on 4 days, so everything works out. And then yeah, yesterday, I knew I was going to go to the bullpen. And so I ended up throwing a little bit off the mound before the game, because I'm not going to get an actual bullpen this week since everything's short. So it ended up working out perfect. I threw about 10 pitches off the mound yesterday before the game, and that'll count as my bullpen. And I had a lighter week, on the start with the volume. So yeah, I'll be ready to go. I feel good.
Perfect. You guys have anything more for him? Yeah, you've had a lot of great moments as a Mariner at T-Mobile Park, especially. Where did last night rank among them?
It was definitely up there. We've had a lot of great moments here, and just a great night overall. So, like I said, I don't know where it ranks, but it's definitely definitely one of the top moments since I've been here, and it was a really fun night for all the fans and us as players too.
Absolutely. I'm mostly just curious how it felt after catching 209 pitches last night.
I mean, definitely tired after, but in the time you're not really thinking about it. You're just trying to get the win, and worry about the rest later. So, we had the 18 inning game a couple years ago, and that was a long one, and this was another long one. So, it was definitely worth it.
And then on that note, what becomes the most fatiguing part of a game, like a Game 5? Is it the mental or physical of catching 15 innings of all those different pitchers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely the the mental part of it. It's definitely more exhausting than the physical. Obviously, you're physically tired, but mentally having to deal with new pitchers and trying to face guys 6, 7, 8 times, whatever amount it was. It gets to be tough, and just the emotional roller coaster as well. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of feelings and emotions going on.
Absolutely. So you kind of answered this yesterday. The whole pitching staff was amazing, but what did you make of Logan Gilbert's performance in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about who he is, as a person and player, going on short rest and going parts of 3 innings. So he did an unbelievable job, and just thankful that he could go out there and help us win, him and Louis both. So they did a great job, and like I said, to do that coming out of the bullpen on short rest is amazing.
And then one more, turning the page here. You've done pretty well in Toronto in the past. Why has it been a place you found success, and do you like anything about playing there?
No, not particularly. Just I mean, it's definitely a fun city. It's a nice stadium, and they're a good team. So always look forward to the challenge and playing them, and it's just always fun.
You've talked about all year about how much the fans have been a part of the journey. And obviously we saw it last night. You said it last night, how important that win was for the city. Can you just talk about their impact and just their experience?
To you or the camera?
Either way. Just how critical it was and how cool it was to see that place around.
Yeah, it was amazing, going through another long game, prolonged extra inning game was crazy, and the fact that fans were on their feet all night, and they're supporting us, and they were in it from pitch one. It's a different environment. I don't know how to describe it. It's you can tell how badly the fans want it, and like I said, the energy and how loud it gets in there is crazy, and like I said, it makes a big difference when teams show up to the ballpark and they see how much the fans want it, how loud they get, and how invested they are, and it gives us that much more energy and that much more that we can go out there and put on the line for it.
All right, Dan, can you describe your personal shift from the Game 5 mayhem and aftermath to prepping for the ALCS? Like, when did you literally start thinking about the Blue Jays?
It's it is a quick turnaround, no question. But I think we had a great chance to celebrate last night. It was a great moment here at the ballpark. Fans were absolutely incredible from beginning to end last night, and so it was nice to enjoy that. But it quickly goes, and you wake up the next day, and it's about preparing for what's ahead. And there were even conversations last night about what's ahead. So our guys will be ready. We'll get there tonight, get some rest, and we'll be ready to go.
Is there a specific memory from Game 5 that you think is going to be burned in your mind forever?
Oh man, I think. There's so many. I think just seeing Polo's ball get to the outfield, and seeing Leo Rivas's hit to left field, those 2 big hits for us were just moments in time for sure, and those will be things that are sort of branded in the brain.
What's the most daunting challenge about the Blue Jays?
They're a good team, and we had a good series with them, at their place earlier this season, and they're a tough club, no question, they swing the bat well. They're young, it's a team that we'll have our hands full, but I think we feel like we're in a good spot with our club. We've coming off a highly emotional series and have gained some momentum from that, so. I feel like we're in a good spot and looking forward to getting it started.
When does the fatigue, whether it's mental or physical, from something like Game 5, when does that really set in for the players?
I don't know if it's really fatigue. I think I think a lot of times players will gain some energy from that, and this is a team. The Mariners do a lot of traveling. We do a lot of East Coast traveling. This is something that we're actually pretty used to. So I think in a lot of ways, these guys will be able to be, it'll just be, an extension of the season in some ways, and we should be good to go.
Do you have a plan for Wu for this series?
We're continuing to assess, his availability, and he seems to be rebounding pretty well. He's coming back, and right now we're continuing to weigh, what that timetable might be, and when he'll be available.
Because you used so many hours last night, do you expect to add another pitcher for the LCS?
We're certainly talking about that. That's something that we have weighed, and again, as our attention has turned, to the Toronto series and what we're going to do. Certainly, using a lot of guys last night, we have to kind of approach it a little bit differently this time around. So that is certainly something that we're considering.
Jerry Dipoto said he's hoping Wu can be available by the middle of the series. What things do you need to see from him to know he's ready, and how far can you push him?
Yeah, I mean, it's really dependent on his bullpen sessions, and yesterday he had a bullpen session, really went well. So we'll see, get a chance to see how he bounces back from that today, and then getting a chance again to stretch it out a little bit more, in the next few days, and that'll give us a really good indication of where he's at and whether or not he'll be available, at some point during that series.
If it ends up being Bryce Miller in Game 1, how far do you think you can push him on short rest?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it will be Bryce Miller. He will be our Game 1 starter, and I think we understand that he's coming back from short rest. He didn't have a ton of pitches, in his outing in Detroit, so that's a kind of a blessing for us in some ways. So. He's excited to get the ball. We're excited to hand him the ball, and we'll take him as far as he can go.
All right, Dan, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.